We head into turn one then, there's a lot of things happening. Lewis there, really getting into the thick of it, flying through, back past a bunch of LMP2 cars, as there's Fenix there and Short Soda as well, who's changed from his Chevy Corvette into an LMP2 Orica, and wide for Short Soda, who's gone straight off into the grass there on the outside. That's a shocker for him. Meanwhile, Fenix ahead, and he's side by side with Joseph Singh. Joseph Singh side by side with Fenix, and he gets the move done. Joseph Singh, what a start by him. And he's now looking for a move on Lewis, and there's someone off. That's Fenix, who goes straight off behind him. I was wondering what all that dust was, and it was Fenix kicking up all that dust and flying to the other side of the track. Meanwhile, DXR leads ahead of this battle with Lewis, and then comes Joe, and then comes Fenix. Devon's leading in the GT4 class, and he's currently leading ahead of Short Soda in the other LMP2. But what a start by Devons, who is currently the only GT4 in this race, as Joe looking to catch up to. Oh, he just got past Mr. Lewis there. I must have missed that. So Lewis has been passed by Joe, and he's now into third. The number 2 Ford heading through the bus stop chicane, and he's gone down the wrong road. He's gone wide. That's going to be a painful one to stop. He does get it stopped, but that will really affect his run there, and I reckon Fenix will be able to get the move on him. Chaos here at the start, here in Daytona, as Fenix looking to catch up to Lewis hit there, and Lewis has been passed by the man who's finished second in every race here in Retro Racing so far. Meanwhile, here's Joe looking to get the move on DXR for the lead of the race. Both Oricas going for it. The number 38 Jackie Chan Jota versus the DXR number 79 machine. Joe not able to make the moves there. There's a couple cars you can hear in the background. Joe on the exit there, as looks like Lewis has dropped back a bit from Joe, as from Fenix, should I say, is heading through there. Joe just behind there at the moment. He's not able to get a move done. Meanwhile, Lewis here heading up behind Fenix. Is he able to get a move done? No, he's not. As meanwhile, Joe going to the inside. Is he going to get the move done on DXR? He block passes. Very nice to avoid any switchback attempt from DXR. He parks that car on the apex. Very good positioning of his car there for Joe. But meanwhile, we head through. And Joe looks like he's going to stay ahead for the moment. Into the chicanes, down the inside goes DXR, he goes for the move, Joe brakes early. Joe was very hesitant on the brakes there. DXR reacted to it and has now got the lead back from Joe. And Joe now, they both get back onto the track, and now Fenix is going to get in on the action here. This could be fun. There's the 79 car here of DXR. And now on the outside is Fenix, who got a much better run out of that chicane. They go side by side through the banking. It could be 3 wide as they head down the banking. No, it's not, as Joe's too far ahead. But look at this battle. They head round to start the next lap. And into turn 1 for the 3rd time. Round the outside for Fenix. Is he going to get the move done? No, he's not. DXR now looking to capitalise, as Fenix left himself a little bit vulnerable there. There's Joe now heading through, as Fenix behind Joe, ahead of DXR, now has to play the hunter and the hunted in this situation. So he's got to try and make a move on Joe without hurting his race too much and allowing DXR to capitalise. DXR is going to be watching all of this, waiting for a gap to open for these two. As going wide there is Fenix. He's gone off, he's spun, and he's hit the side of DXR's car. DXR, Fenix, both of them spin. That was a huge moment in this race. And DXR's round again. DXR's round again. We just saw that in the background. DXR round. Fenix spun on the grass into the side of the 79. Now the 41 gets the lead as Joe makes a mistake heading through that corner. Now Fenix struggling on the banking with the apron, but now heading through. I think Joe's just gone on the high side of him now. Yeah, he has. So Joe on the high side, although it looks like Fenix might be able to get the move done, as Joe's very early on the brakes here. Fenix does get the move done, heading into the Le Mans chicane. And Joe looks like he's got a much better exit though. He's going to go for the inside of the second part of the Trey Oval. He was flying round As now Fenix on the outside looking to stay ahead of Joe. The GT4 car is that blue car, if you're wondering what that means on the map. As here comes Fenix then. Is he gonna make the move? Joe goes to the apron. That could be an in-game penalty. As Joe ahead of Fenix. Round the outside for the number 38. Fenix though still ahead. Oh, over the grass there for Joe. And Fenix gets the lead back. Although Joe lay on the brakes down the inside. Fenix not letting him have it. This is a great battle here in LMP2. As Short Soda's in the pits after a bit of issues, a couple issues in his race so far. So he's in the pits. He's the one with that yellow dot. So meanwhile, the yellow dot on the mini-map, I mean. Heading round as Fenix goes wide. Joe looking like he can capitalise, but not able to make the move stick. So he's going to have to wait for another opportunity. But that LMP2 that Joe's driving has a lot of straight line speed, it looks like, as Fenix goes wide. Joe looking to get the move back on the inside. Oh, there's contact nearly between Fenix and Joe. If there wasn't contact, they were millimetres from it. Joe, though, ahead of Fenix. But Fenix, though, looking to stay on the high side and not able to make the move stick. But Joe ahead of Fenix. Joe keeping to the outside. Fenix, though, not able to make anything of it. He goes to the inside. It's a big move. Joe keeps it ahead, though. They make contact. Joe making contact with Fenix. And Fenix in the grass. Joe broke early there. Kept it on the outside. And Fenix making contact. Joe looks like he's feeling bad about that. Looks like he's slowing down to let him back past there. As Fenix went for the move. And Joe kind of parked his car on the apex. Sending the 41 car off, and now he's riding the wall nearly, is Fenix. Heading through. Fenix and Joe there. Over the line they go again. Joe looking for the outside, not going to get it done, or is he? He's gone for the outside yet again. It could be a great move by Joe. He goes late on the brakes on the outside. No, he's not going to make it stick. There's way too late on the brakes there for Fenix. In the 41, he stayed tight to the inside there and let Joe have no room. Joe goes for the move though, deep on the brakes on the inside. He goes on the grass and avoids contact with Fenix. But Fenix though, looking like he's gone wide there. Joe looking like he's going to make the move stick on the outside of this corner. This will be very daring as he goes for it and goes onto the grass. And there's just not enough grip through there. And Joe having to take the alternative layout, which is, if I'm not mistaken, the Rallycross layout. So Joe having to come back onto the track here. There's a billboard in the middle of the track. Joe came out ahead in the lead, but he's going to have to give that place back, which he does by going wide here. Fenix takes the lead back, as you can see, but Fenix in turn goes wide though. And meanwhile, DXR, that yellow dot on the minimap, is right behind those two. You might see him in the background soon, as Joe and Fenix battling like animals leaves DXR to capitalise. As meanwhile heading through into the bus stop chicane, the Le Mans chicane. Fenix currently ahead of Joe for the lead of the race.